Maybe I'll skip the first album as I already know it, of course. I just remember learning about like what passion was about, and after hearing that, I don't know, I felt very much seen somehow, even though if I oh wait, just let's listen to it to see if it shared the same pain. Said I had to clear up my head, but tonight I think I lost the plot instead. I said that I would clear out the three. To the words I know they listen to me. The teachers always call it a shame. They say we don't have permission to the same as I did a few years before. They don't see the light anymore. They call it sad, but they outside looking in. They call it sad when they are cool with everything. It was nobody's fault, cause they're not here anymore. Where can I sleep tonight? I'm breaking them in half, they always say. And now I don't do it in this way. And now I have to feel all the things they know how to call it that I bring. Sure, it's sad, but they outside looking in. I mean, they can't understand when I don't go to everything. When I open my heart and I don't want to leave. Cause I'm not there anymore. Whoa. Cause they're not there anymore. Man, why did I feel it so much? And friends. Oh. Why I'm hesitating to open myself up. Is it perfectionism? Is it my or some weird perception of masculinity? I'm fine with talking about my shadows. I wouldn't be here being able to present me like that. Actually, I wanna start articulating myself more in accordance to what I embody. I don't embody that timid thing I used to be. My name is Tang, so yeah. Yeah, back to the topic. I didn't have the same story, but I feel like this song talks about some kind of emotional abandonment. In your case, it's more strict or direct than in my case. Yeah, because my parents loved me and they cared for me. They tried to be there for me as much as they could. I'm still doing it. But in some way, it wasn't enough. And I needed a long time to realize this. What I've been through. What have I been through? So to start it, I would explain myself a bit. Oh. So 28 years ago, I've been born here in Germany in a small city called Dachau with Vietnamese parents, and I was always probably a very deep person and weird in my own way. But yeah, my parents couldn't speak German, well, just a bit, and my Vietnamese is not that good to like really talk about things that I truly care for or want to talk about. And why do I get a heavy feeling trying to explain it to the world? Usually, or at least in the recent times, I can talk about it very easily. I've been on my journey, reflected so much. So, but why is this different? Yeah, actually, that makes sense why it's a bit different, because this is like my first time really trying to put this out in the world, me and who I am, and it's colliding with my, let's say, core fear or trauma that I've never felt seen, even though I grew up with people that cared for me. Yeah, my parents had it worse, of course. They grew up in what the world's calling the Vietnam War. Had to fear for their lives. Live in terror, scarcity, hunger, maybe seeing that friends die, and yeah, that shit's fucking up their minds, of course, and there was no system for therapy or such, and so they carried on the fears, the burns, the traumas onto the next generation. And yeah, they had many siblings, and I don't know if they truly know what love can feel like. It's like they're still running the old programs. My mom's still worrying about me getting enough food. My dad is still seeing everything as negatively as possible. That's how I perceive it. But yeah, since I was a child, I probably started to mask to be normal, just to be seen at all. And that's kind of where the silent hell started. I don't know if I was in kindergarten or like elementary school. But yeah, then since then, I guess I put on a persona, and without even knowing it, had some other horrible experiences, like not in a way that I've got hurt directly or so, but yeah, that like the whole family was arguing, shouting, and yeah, I saw how knives got, yeah, people threatened each other with knives, and also my alcoholic dad. I saw him like trying to unalive himself, even though he kind of had no chance of doing it like he does. I don't know, probably I was in kindergarten. And all I can remember is this. Yeah, I felt so powerless. My mom couldn't handle the situation, and the only thing I was able to do is to shout and hope that they're gonna stop. And yeah, that's kind of it, but yeah, it did something with me probably, which I'm just realizing now. This memory I've been just telling to you is a memory I never really talked about until now, because yeah, I probably suppressed it, mm, and I didn't know the impact it would have had. the extent of, yeah. What I mean is, since then it changed me in a way that someone recognized that I'm not growing up in a safe environment, and subconsciously put on some role that is maybe more mature, or like it has to take care for oneself. Mm, not to drift away further. And I don't know, maybe there was a part of me who never wanted to talk about it because I was comparing like my pain with other people, and like other people suffered maybe not even more or severely, but like, yeah, more directly. But these emotions and stuff are subjective and not to be compared. But yeah, as an imposter, I needed a lot of reflection to even acknowledge what I've been through. Mm. So yeah, basically, I experienced shit that no children should experience. That's the right word. Also, yeah, as I said, my parents cared for me. I don't know, I didn't really have problems with mobbing, I think. Maybe just some small calling names like Jackie Chan and stuff, but I don't know if I really ever cared. Mm, but yeah, then I grew up, didn't really have parent problems. I had enough food. I don't know if I needed many things, but even though we are on the lower spectrum financially, I also never had problems in that regard. Mm. But my point is, yeah, I just can't say it clearly like I do it now. I was going through horrible times these last years, and maybe subconsciously all my life. And due to recent developments, I had to face myself in my entire being, entire essence. So without that, all of this wouldn't have come to the surface like it did now. Mm. What's my point? Yeah, just that most of my life, probably 2 decades, I've been kind of living a double life without knowing it. And therefore, yeah, so back to the song maybe. Of course, I had friends, luckily. But what are friends? What's the definition of it? I had some close friends too, but yeah, also I was in a gang. We called us most dope. No shoutouts. And but still, we had good times. And there were times where I felt lucky, but when it comes to connections, I probably was never fulfilled. My brother is 12 years older than me, and he had to deal with his stuff too. Our relationship felt kind of distant, but I don't know if it's just my perception. But yeah, also to my parents. Mm, it was alright, I guess, but my dad was kind of always a liar and didn't um, portray like a good model of a man. Mm. But yeah, as I said, with this kind of double life, I kind of floated through life. I wasn't aware of who I am. Therefore, something was always missing. Like I remember talking about friends that there's something missing in the connection, but I couldn't grasp what it was. And yeah, after a great summer, like a decade ago, 2015, where I even, yeah, started to go out and connect more, vibe with people, have fun. Mm, actually, to explain it in short, we talk about it now. Mm, yeah, so I would say that I've always had like problems with women in my kind of way, or maybe I was always just quite shy, but um, most was due to my lack of self-worth that I tried to compensate with experience with the other gender. And that's kind of story of my life. I just started about thinking about girls when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16. And mm, is this the right place to talk about it now? That's a bigger topic. I can gloss over it though and explain it more in another part. But what I wanted to talk about is like, I don't know, when I was 17, or I remember I got maybe my nicest birthday present when I got 18. It was like actually here down there at some small lake. I did even get a cake. It, shout out to Chrissy, and a nice letter. It is still dear to me. My point is just that it was the first time I had like a female friend, and felt like it meant the world to me because yeah, it was like the first time I could kind of be more of myself, be more authentic, show more of my being, and without like having to, I don't know, yeah, without having to think. And yeah, that was a beautiful memory that's still fond of me over 10 years after that. And actually, this summer and the next, I've got some other friends too, but somehow after that, yeah, these, I don't know, friendships or the contact didn't last long, and so I was kind of on my own again, always stressing about when I'm gonna have my first kiss, or yeah, how I'm gonna get there if I kind of force it or like chase it, or to let it unfold organically. Man, I've actually got quite cool love stories, but I don't know. I don't think now's the time for that. Yeah, my point again is that actually, like, since 2017, kind of, I've been like distancing myself more and more from the friend groups. They got bigger, but you know, felt more and more, less and less personal, relatable. The bigger it got, and probably I was learning about myself in my solitude without knowing it, realizing it. Hmm. So actually, paradoxically, um, my glow up started then. I went to my first concert, May 2017, with a rapper. He's called Marvin Gaye. Shout out to him and his brother and the whole gang, who had the luck to, yeah, meet after the show and just connect and vibe. We just, yeah, smoked some joints afterwards behind the club and cornered, like we were friends just hanging out. And then this legendary story of me started, where I was on tour with them, and yeah, he baptized me the mosh pit minister and stuff. That's also why when we talked, I said that I'm hoping to be in a mosh pit in one of his songs. So If you have an idea or wish, I could arrange that. I don't know. I saw one video, I think it was a Break It Off or I Must Apologize, where people moshed, even if not many people moshed there, but maybe there will be a chance. But yeah, somehow my glow up started. I was going out even way more, but like to parties, clubs. Man, my storytelling is kind of messy, but my point that I'm trying to make is, yeah, at that year or like in 2018, I also went to the Kendrick Lamar concert, and actually where I popped half a pill before randomly, kind of, which changed my life. Maybe one of my most memorable experiences where I've developed the love I have for music. I remember being so hyped during the concert, jumping up and down like in Germany we say flummi. And yeah, being too hyped to realize what I'm feeling, but then some days afterwards, I was in my room listening to the songs in the dark, which he performed, and kind of getting some flashbacks, and I cried for an hour straight. And yeah, so yeah, I found the love for music, and I started, like, as I said, going out more, and even without friends, because I didn't have the friends that are as committed as me, going out just for the music, and that often. Yeah, so I was like a lone wolf, developing into a popular loner who never even really talked to people except the artists or DJs or the crew somehow, because I could talk about them about music, I think, and due to experiences, I refrained from connecting to others. And even though I've met new people, I also got friends. I was never someone who like could maintain it or like did stay in contact with the people. Nowadays, I can say that it was like missing resonance in some way, mostly, but also my need or craving for, yeah, as I said, getting seen. But yeah, I didn't know that I was so deep in that I wanted to get seen. So it was quite been quite a strange but epic journey, man. I got placed into situations most would only dream of, and I was just low-key chilling there without taking advantage of it. Yeah, due to my what the hell? Man, the stories I've got are endless and epic. But yeah, to make it short, I've had a situationship like 2019, which lasted for 1 or 2 months, and the ending broke my heart. I thought this couldn't be it, that it wasn't the end, and then started feeling energies and thinking about soulmates. And somehow, due to how I viewed all of this, I stayed loyal to someone I wasn't even with, because I thought she was the one I'm supposed to end with. Yeah. Then there were years of fumbling every opportunity, I would call it jokingly. Man, if you would know. But yeah, as I said, due to recent developments, I had to go through a development that would change my life. Yeah, so last year I kind of got to know a girl again. I was like first time that I opened myself up again since, I don't know, 6, 7 years. And it was the worst. Fun fact, she likes you. You probably inspire her in some ways. Makes quite nice music too. But yeah, I was put in a situation where I had to decide if I'm gonna chase her like I would have always done, like the codependent tongue that I was, or to finally choose myself and act on my dignity. Did I say it right? Long story, very short. Man, last year I didn't even feel that bad, but I'm a master of suppressing feelings, and even though I'm very, in German you say reflektiert, I don't know if reflective is the right word, but even if I'm very aware of myself, there's still many things hidden in the subconscious. I maybe forgot the point, but with the way she treated me in this situation, I had the choice between chasing and hoping for something to get better, or I don't know, stay lonely, but and suffering on my own. But yeah, not depending on her anymore. And so I did, and I felt like I had spiritual support, because it was maybe the hardest thing I've ever did, but it felt so natural. That was like in August, more than half a year ago. What's my point? Short meal break. It's getting windy. Oh. Mm. Dachamanji gang. Also short cosmetic break. Just for the lulz into. It's not easy to explain the loneliness I had to endure, but you get my point to an extent. Hallo.
Hallo.
Mache ich jetzt so weiter? Another fun fact. Actually, I was talking about August, right? I think back then I was still in Berlin. And a few months after, I was back in my home city again. And so, actually, my first YouTube video was filmed here, and with this video I uploaded, I also talked about that this is the place where I cried due to their experiences with the girl who shall not be named. I don't know why even. But yeah, Mm, until this last year, I still felt, well, I didn't feel lonely because I had quite a rapid development these last year and months. I'm a master alchemist. I transmute into pain into bliss and blessings. And yeah, I always had music, good music on my side, garage and stuff. The Intercell Hard Me Records event in Berlin was quite pivotal. Also, Jigit, shout out to him, was the best set last year for me. That's saying a lot. Also, Opidan was nice, and Maluji and Marlon Hofstadt, the back-to-back they had in Germany. Yeah, now that I mention it, Maluji played the MPH remix of the Calvin Harris track, and I heard it there for the first time. Actually, you can see on my Insta, I posted a short clip of me crying to that song so hard that my father said like that I'm looking like someone has died. But yeah, that was just an expression of a glimpse of what I've been like suppressing, or stuff inside me that wants to be felt and expressed and transmuted. So yeah, thanks to all my favorite musicians. You literally saved me from falling deeper into my depressions. Mm. Mm. All that to say, actually, shoutouts to ETSS too. Started at the Sully event in Berlin. Then I saw in Amsterdam too at her ADE invite. And I saw her in Bonn and Warsaw too. And were quite fun encounters, which helped me realize even more things, which led to the start of this new year, where I somehow regulated my nervous system. And yeah, since then I've been living in kind of a new reality, where I wasn't, where I'm not dependent anymore. But yeah, that's also another topic for itself. Man, this story ended quite positive actually, but it's also still only a fraction of my lore. So yeah, I'm excited to finally showing myself to the world a bit. Thanks for maybe one person who's gonna see this. I think in the future more people are gonna stumble upon this. Let's see how long it takes for me to get famous without performing, because I'm way too nice to be that overlooked, overseen. But it's also doesn't feel good to like, yeah, post for attention, I guess. And I don't do it like that actually, so I don't know why I've got such a problem. I'm quite an overthinker and had or still have some negative connections I make that's hindering me in like going forward, because I've got the best requirements to catapult into a new reality and do even more recent developments. I'm so ready to show what I have to offer, and what I have to offer is my valuable perspective on the world, life, existence, reality, and the shit show we are living in. So yeah, that's kind of my way to announce the new era, where garage and familiar genres are taking over the world with the help of my essence and energy. So for everyone who's already here, you can be fucking excited. I don't know if the screen is conveying my energy, but I hope you gonna experience me in real life, cause my energy is not from this world. Actually, I'm just searching for my people. So that's the intention I set, I guess. The people who are going to accompany me in my quest to raise the vibration of this world, who help me in, yeah, uniting. Simple as that.